All right, welcome to Poly 201 Tips. I'm Dr. Liz, and I have with me...
I'm Ashlee Cain of Rose Glass Photography.
All right, so Ashlee, what would be your Poly 201 tip?
Poly 201 tip from me would be, I think it is easy to consider, oh, we're going to be poly. I have to get used to the idea of my partner having other people, and my partner has to get used to me having other people. I think something that you don't think about is getting used to one of you having another person and the other one not. And even then, I think your first thought is like, oh my God, what if my partner has another partner and I'm alone? But one thing that I wasn't prepared for is the feeling of me having another partner and my partner not having another person kind of thing. Thankfully, my partner he's not like bitter towards me or anything like that, but it is me personally being empathetic. It does give me feels when I am off to have a date and I know he's going to be home all weekend or things like that, and not that he makes that my fault, but it is something that I was not prepared to have to work through and think about and hold space for him for. So yeah, that can be hard.
So how would you tell people, like, what would be your helpful tips for like working through that conflict?
I think it would be really important to kind of have prepared, both of you, like sit down and talk about this, have prepared kind of go-to things to combat those feelings of loneliness, of jealousy, because believe it or not, poly people get lonely and jealous, you know?
What?
Yeah, poly people are not superhumans who just don't have negative emotions. So like for me, I know that if my partner is going somewhere and I know that, you know, for longer than a couple hours and that I'm going to be bored or alone, I know me personally, social activity is my go-to. So who's around? And if I know that's happening, I will, you know, see what's happening on that day, who's around. But, you know, my partner, he is far more introverted than I am. So when I started having a regular secondary, well, not secondary, we're not hierarchical, but another partner that I went out with regularly, he was just kind of like, oh, I don't really feel like going over someone's house. I'm just here alone. And so it wasn't until we sat down and talked about some things and actually made a game plan for, okay, when you're lonely or when you're sad, what are some things you're going to do when I'm away so that you don't just find yourself sitting there like, oh, I'm here now.
Yeah.
And your partner leaving feeling, oh, I'm leaving them.
Yeah.
So
it's so cool you brought that up, because actually in my book, Building Open Relationships, I have 2 worksheets for this. One is the post-date decompression worksheet, which is if you're the one on the date, how do you get yourself back in headspace and reconnected with your partner?
Yes.
And then the other one is self-care while your sweetie dates. So like when your sweetie is out, how do you take care of yourself in like a lot of different realms? So you can find those for free at buildingopenrelationships.com, and you can read more about them in the book, Building Open Relationships.
That's awesome. Those are 2 resources that I would really love. Like even having discussed this already with him,
Yeah.
like that's awesome.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Ashlee.
No problem.